Hello and welcome to NAFDAC and your else. My name is Tosing Omolaja, and here's where we bring you up to date with NAFDAC's activities with regards to its mandate of safeguarding the health of the nation. Thanks for joining us for another insightful edition of the program. For many Nigerians, one of the biggest questions with regards to COVID-19 vaccines is how long these vaccines can last in the body, how's protecting the vaccinated person from the virus. The Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, helps put this in proper perspective.
When somebody is infected with COVID or any infection actually, the body builds up its own immunity. The rate at which the immune system is built up is different from people to people. Similarly, the way these vaccines are designed is to cause the body to start making antibodies or immunity or immune factors to increase the antibodies or immune levels of the individual. However, there are different types of vaccines. There are some vaccines that have long-term immunity. But all the COVID vaccines that have been developed now, first of all, because they are new, we have to follow them up. But none of them has claimed that it's going to be long-term immunity. But nonetheless, studies will know when how long the immunity is going to last. It may be like a flu vaccine, okay? In the US, every winter, people take flu shots, meaning every year we may be taking it if it turns out to be like flu vaccine. So that is all I can say in terms of the period. How well can it be sustained, the immune level? But studies will show how long.
Nigeria so far has received its first 4 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine out of the 40 million donated by the COVAX program, and has since begun vaccinating its population, starting with frontline health workers. Beyond the AstraZeneca vaccine, which is currently being administered, the agency has its eyes on other vaccines so that every Nigerian can have the opportunity to be vaccinated.
I believe the next batch, according to primary health, I think the next batch is coming May, June. Because, like I told you, these 4 million doses that we got, if 4 million people got it, it takes about 3 months for that immune level to be sustained to this 88% that I read. That is the level that it can reach. That is when the second dose will come in. How many doses we're going to get at that point, I don't know. But we're going to get more doses, And we keep getting, and it's not just AstraZeneca. J&J is one of them. Sputnik may be one of them. Because bear in mind, these vaccines that people are getting now, they've gone through different quality, safety, efficacy, scrutiny. For example, AstraZeneca got approval by EMEA, European Medicine Agency, by UK, MHRA, and by other, Health Canada. And millions have been using it. Okay? Then it has to go through WHO. WHO will run their own assessments on it. So WHO gave this AstraZeneca emergency use listing 3 or 4 days before we gave it our own emergency use authorization. So it is all making sure that it is not just 2 eyes, it's hundreds of eyes that are looking at it.
NAFDAC has been proactive in its preparedness for the COVID-19 vaccines and has activated those plans it's put in place to ensure the security of the vaccines in country and indeed proper monitoring of side effects and adverse reactions.
In terms of what we have put in place based on our plans now that the vaccines have come, now there is something about traceability. We want to be sure that the vaccines that we have approved to be used in country are actually the vaccines that are going to be deployed. And we know that pharmacovigilance and vaccine safety links up with making sure that the proper vaccines are used, so that in case of an adverse event, we are able to be sure, okay, it is the vaccine we approved that are given out to the end users. So there is this traceability component of it, where when the vaccines came in, our NAFDAC officers that have been trained had to go to the airport to track and document all the vaccines brought into the country. And the system we are using is a track and trace. So we have been able to track all the vaccines and to their different locations. Our pharmacovigilance focal persons are doing that currently in the states where the vaccines have been deployed. A lot of activities are ongoing in terms of monitoring of the AEFI. It's still a challenge. And we also know that another challenge that we are envisaging or seeing, the negative information about the COVID-19 vaccine. A lot of people are hesitant about actually taking the vaccines, but a lot of activities in terms of communication, pulling out a lot of communication to the public for them to know that the vaccine is safe. A lot of people have taken it and they have not reacted so negatively.
The importance of being vaccinated cannot be overemphasized. It is the only way to guarantee herd immunity and stamp out the ravaging effects of this novel coronavirus. At the National Hospital, Abuja, some of the first set of health workers who got vaccinated shared their personal experience.
I also took my vaccine, and it's quite important in the sense that when we vaccinate ourselves, we achieve at least a good number, which will give us herd immunity. Herd immunity means that, okay, we will now have some form of protection against this pandemic. It's really been a menace. We've tried as much as possible to curb it. So if we have a chance of hitting it once and for all, I think it's better we all vaccinate. I've taken it, okay? Some people do have some side effects. They might feel like headache or fever, but that tends to subside. Some or majority of persons seem not to have any symptoms at all. So it's also very, very good that we vaccinate ourselves.
I took COVID-19 vaccine on Monday, 7th of March 2021. I only feel tenderness at the site of injection. And since then, I didn't feel anything. Though some of our colleagues complain of mild fever and other adverse effects. But so far, so good. I'm okay. I even joined at today rally. I'm very strong. No sign of fever, no sign of headache, nothing.
I had my vaccine today, which is on the 10th of March. You can see the number here. My number is 540. Yeah, by 2 p.m. today. So I advise more people to come out and to take more vaccine.
I've been at isolation center since April last year. And so far so good. There are a lot of challenges. We have people that come to isolation center that is very healthy, but because of the situation of COVID-19, there is the oxygen level that started declining. Some, with the aid of what, COVID-19 medication and others, they are able to get up. But those with what, comorbidity, there is no way we will manage everybody and they will get out of the situation. So we record some few cases of one mortality rates. It's not easy. You're seeing somebody struggling to breathe, looking for air everywhere, no help, solidly dependent on oxygen. It's not a good experience. So I advise Nigeria and everybody around to add to COVID-19 protocol. Please take the advice of the government as they provide COVID-19 vaccine.
We know that COVID-19 vaccine is just like any other vaccines that we have been using in country for immunization, both for the children immunization and for the adult immunization. And we know the process of conferring that immunity in people. We know vaccines, once given, kind of elicit an antibody-antigen reaction that now allows the body to produce its own antibodies that will fight any virus that comes into the body. That's the mechanism of action for vaccines. And COVID-19 vaccine is not different from any other vaccines that have been used for immunization. And it is critical that people come up and take the vaccine because it is going to be, it's protective. It will help you build immunity against the COVID-19 disease virus. So people need to actually come out. The vaccine is safe. It's just that it is new. But a lot of people are worried about the number of years used for the development of the vaccine. But we know that there are so many technologies that are coming up that can actually improve production. So the COVID-19 vaccine has been adequately manufactured in a way that it is to be used based on its indication.
We'll take a short break now. Don't go away.
The MedSafety app is the latest reporting tool introduced by the National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control in November 2020 as part of the Innovative Medicines Initiative project. The app is made available to the public in collaboration with World Health Organization, Uppsala Monitoring Center, Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, UK, and National Agency for Food, Drugs and Administration and Control, NAFDAC. The MedSafety app allows users to track safety information of medicines, vaccines and other health products, report adverse drug reaction to a medicine or vaccine, and view data on suspected side effects. When you have received your COVID-19 vaccine, you can use the MedSafety app to report any adverse reaction or side effect you may feel. The app can be used by anybody, irrespective of whether you are a medical practitioner or not. You, your family and friends, everyone can download and use the MedSafety app to report adverse drug reaction. Just search for MedSafety on Google Play Store for Android and App Store for iOS. When using the app for the first time, the user needs to select his or her region. In this case, Nigeria, and also choose the preferred language of choice. The user will then be taken to the login page where you create an account by providing your email and password or proceed as a guest. To create an account, you are required to provide the following details: reporter type, example, physician or pharmacist, as well as their name and email address, password with at least 9 characters with 1 uppercase letter and a number. Read the privacy statement and accept. Once you are logged in, the user is presented with a number of tabs, which includes news, products and watch lists. Under the Report tab, the user can report a new suspected adverse drug reaction, ADR. On opening a new report, the user is prompted to input patient details, which include initials, sex, and date of birth. The user is then required to input details of the suspected medicine. These include suspected medicine name, other drug details such as strength, batch, dosage details. Multiple suspect drugs and concomitant drugs can be added at any time. The report can be saved and completed at a later time. A saved report can be found on Pending Reports and can be continued by clicking on the report and continuing from where the user stopped. Enter reaction details, reaction date and outcomes. Multiple suspects' reaction can also be added. Also, further details about the report can also be included, such as did the reaction cause prolonged hospitalization, disability, congenital anomaly, or birth defect, life-threatening results in deaths, and so on. Finally, you can also add details of any relevant medical history before submitting the report. The user receives a message on the app confirming submission and an acknowledgement in the mail for submission. Reports can be created and saved without internet connection and be sent whenever internet connection is available. The product tabs show all medicines in the NAFDAC list database. It's easier to navigate to a drug or vaccine of interest, and this data is obtained from the WHO Uppsala Monitoring Center. User can also add products of interest to their watch list to get the latest information on the drugs. All products added to the watch list can be viewed in the watch list tab. The News tab displays drug safety information by NAFDAC. This is usually up to date with drug safety information. Registered users can also edit their profile or change app settings. For more information on the app, please contact the National Pharmacovigilance Center (NPC) at NAFDAC headquarters, plot 2032, Olusegun Obasanjo Way, Wuse Zone 7, Abuja, or call 09290511110 or send email to medsafetyapp@nafdac.gov.ng or pharmacovigilance@nafdac.gov.ng.
Welcome back. If you're just joining in, you're watching NAFDAC and your health. Beyond the vaccines, NAFDAC has also paid great attention to the development of herbal medicines in Nigeria as an integral part of our pharmaceutical regime. This is one area that is particularly important to Professor Adeyeye.
You cannot guess with science, and that is one of the things that I love about science. It is predictable. Therefore, when it comes to herbal, we need to put more money into research. For example, NAFDAC started the Herbal Medicine Product Committee 2019 March to bring the herbalists and the researchers together. Now you have herbalists and researchers pairing up, submitting proposals. Because the herbalist cannot submit proposal, it is the researcher that will submit on behalf of the two of them. But before a herbal medicine is used for clinical efficacy, it has to go through safety, which is called listing. It has to go through our own listing, meaning NAFDAC's listing process. We've got about 40-something applications. Right now we have, I believe, 14 or 16 approved for listing. It is not just dependent on NAFDAC alone. If we say you need to provide this, you need to correct this as an applicant. If the applicant doesn't respond on time, then it delays the process. And maybe a month plus ago, I gave a directive that we should do expedited review. But if you do expedited review and there are still things to correct, then it will depend on how fast the response is. But coming to the effectiveness or efficacy, possible efficacy or getting a medicine that will be efficacious to treat COVID, I will not be surprised. Do I have any evidence? No. That's science. Science will show you that this is a fact. And there are many ways to prove science, through publication, through peer review, to people to critique it and point out any weakness in it. But I think we're on a good path in terms of herbal medicines, because 3 years ago, attention was not drawn to it. But it's high time, and that's being done now.
Ensuring drug security in Nigeria is intrinsically linked to how much and how well we are able to develop and manufacture our own medicine. This is a challenge that NAFDAC, under the leadership of Professor Adeyeye, has taken up and is making significant progress towards.
When it comes to local content, I'm very passionate. First, because a country cannot be secure without drug security, without food security. Those two commodities are two of our 7 regulated products. And talking of local content, during this COVID, at the beginning of this pandemic, we realized that we are naked in terms of drug security, because we import about 70% of our medicines from China or India. But now the government has already also realized that there have been years and decades of neglect in the health sector. So the government, through CBN, is supporting pharmaceutical industry to rebuild their infrastructure. It's billions and billions of naira. I don't know the exact figure. To support the pharmaceutical industry. And because NAFDAC is getting stronger, we are now making our industry stronger. We are expecting higher. We have higher expectations from them. So some of them that we have given compliance directive or corrections that they need to make, some of them, I said, it's better for me to build a new building, to have a new building that to correct this and correct that. So our pharmaceutical industry will continue to be strengthened because we are now being strengthened ourselves. And multinational companies are now partnering with our local manufacturers. We risk categorized our companies after going through maybe about 8 months of what we call good manufacturing practice roadmap to see the level at which each company is. And based on that, we do low, medium, and high risk. And we encourage them, don't stay where you are unless you are low risk. If you are high risk, know what you need to do. Start working towards becoming medium. If you are medium, know what you need to do. Start working towards low risk categorization. That is important for the health of our country. It is important for trade. African Free Trade Agreement took effect January 1. And over the last 2-3 weeks, I've met with 2 ambassadors from African countries. They want to trade with us. They know we are the biggest market. So if everybody is trading with the biggest market and the biggest market doesn't have quality products, we are in trouble. Whether it's food, whether it's cosmetics, whether it's drug, we have to build quality. And the industry has gotten it. And everybody is working towards making sure that our products can compete. Can compete regionally, continentally, and globally, later once we get our maturity level 4.
That's our package for today. Please join us again, same time, same station, next week for a fresh edition. In the meantime, if you have comments, complaints, or you want to report activities of fake drugs or adulterated food product peddlers in your area, our doors are always open. You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, call 0800 162 3322. You may also email NAFDAC at nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email reforms@nafdac.gov.ng or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer focused, agency minded. Remember, COVID-19 is real. Please ensure you and your family follow the safety measures as outlined by the NCDC. Stay away from crowded places as much as possible, and if you must be out there, please wear a face mask. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water and ensure you use only NAFDAC-approved alcohol-based hand sanitizers. See you next week. Stay safe.